quick mic check to ensure that your audio is working correctly.
Did I lose audio?
Hello, Ron. Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering. It was so silent. I didn't know if I lost audio.
No, we're about to kick things off, I think. So yeah, that being said, let's go ahead and begin the meeting, and we'll start with the CTIA certification antitrust do's and don'ts. It is important that all participants in the CTIA certification program working group be familiar with the antitrust laws and follow this antitrust checklist when participating in CPWG meetings. Of course, this is not an exhaustive list, and it is not a substitute for the advice of legal counsel. Move on to the roll call. And I see Ron, RWB OTA Consulting, Kevin Google, Dagon HCT, Clyde Element, Philip SGS, Thorsten Keysight, Kim MVG, Naveen Samsung, Peter SGS, Jerry Fu. See, Jerry is with Sporton, Ryan Claypool, Ryan is with Eurofins, Eddie SGS, Matthew Google, Andrew Google, Farouk Apple, Jose RNS, Young Kim TTA, Lorian Dekra, Ali Google, Siang CTTL, Will Nee Sporton, Emilio Cisco, William Chen, Arafin AT&T, Hyman Eurofins, John Elite. On to the next page. Jim Wu Eurofins, Adil T-Mobile, Andy Verizon, It's Fun Apple, Derek Blutess, Edwin ETS, Andy Verizon, Tejo Apple, and Jay Cisco. Did I miss anyone? Great. We'll pull up the agenda for today's call and hand things over to our working group leaders.
All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, everyone, and welcome to today's OTA working group call. After going through this list, I believe I found one person that at least I'm not familiar with having attended these meetings in the past. Jaimin Park from Eurofins, if you can confirm that this is your first meeting, maybe you could introduce yourself.
Hi, good morning. So this is Arifin from AT&T. So you're right, this is going to be my first meeting.
Oh, Okay, that's good, Arifin. I know we talked before offline. Thanks for that introduction. And I probably failed to recognize that this was your first OTA working group call. I was actually calling out Jaimin Park from Eurofins. If you could also briefly introduce yourself, and thanks, Arifin, for doing the intro. All right, we'll get back to Mr. Park maybe later. With that, we'll move on.
Hello.
Hey,
I'm first meeting in Europeans.
all right, thank you. Sorry, I labeled you as Mr. So sorry, Yamin, and welcome to the OTA working group first meeting. That's exciting, and thanks for participating. With that, we'll move on to agenda item 2, the approval of the June 24th meeting summary. That meeting summary was uploaded by Jose on August 4th, so there has been some time for folks to review this. So the question is, can this be approved as written? Hearing none, so let's consider the meeting summary approved as written. Up next are the action items from the previous meetings, starting off with agenda item 3.1, that's OTA 250601. That was a request from MUSG initially, so for members to volunteer to analyze anything related to course measurement grids, the MU specifically for TIS. When we're looking at that new frequency range of 627.125 gigahertz. At this point, I don't have any update to report. I don't think we had anybody volunteer to step on this. Kim, I believe yesterday mentioned that there has not been anything in terms of a volunteer come forward in MUSG either. So this action will be kept open for a little bit longer with no update to report. Then moving on to agenda item 3.2, that is action OTA 250602 for operators to confirm if GRAN should be moved to informative in the OTA test plan. And I believe there was a discussion in the CTI operator call, and Will, I think you are going to fill in on that update for Sean for now.
Yes, that is correct. This topic was discussed during the previous OTA operator meeting, and the operators agreed to make GRAN informative.
All right. So I guess the target version for that would be version 10. Yes, we just need either operators or any type of volunteer to start looking at contributions to make that informative. All right. That background noise is gone. So with that, are there any questions, comments regarding this update from Will and the guidance from the operators? Hearing none. Okay, so we are hopefully looking forward to volunteers to start implementing the operator guidance. With that, we move on to the next agenda item 4, contributions approved over email. We don't have any. And with that, we'll go straight to the on-time contributions that were either carryovers from previous meetings or indeed on-time contributions from mostly some of the sub-working groups. So let's start off with agenda item 5.1. That is contribution OTA 250504 version 2 on the inter-equipment chipset test plan for NTN, LTE, NB1, and I believe Kevin, if you can present this. I believe we went over this 2 meetings ago already, so if you could provide a brief summary on this idea of yours.
Yes, this was presented as an option for, I guess, qualifying the test parameters that we proposed and approved for, let's see, we calling it now NB-IoT NTN. And yeah, so there were several questions raised and looking for feedback from the group. I guess, are there any chips that support any other chipsets than the ones submitted here that support narrowband IoT NTN? The intent was to try to have as much coverage as possible. Are there any other communication testers than what was identified? I think we did discuss, and we were targeting one lab to do all the testing. And I guess there's still a question about whether there's any other criteria that was needs to be targeted. And I think we'd also discussed the possibility of, at least, I think we discussed the possibility of Google perhaps during the round robin. I think we have 3 of the testers available. But I guess, yeah. And I guess the target was to test only the geosynchronous orbit settings and to test only band 255. And I guess there were some potential actions, to volunteers to provide DOTs and volunteers to run the test. Okay, keep going. And so I think if this has been previously presented there, keep going.
So Kevin, do you want me to show this document? Because that's the extent of the cover page.
Oh, okay, yep. Okay, so this document kind of goes to the outline of the test plan. Maybe we just go through it very quickly because I think this was presented before. It's been a while. Sorry, I missed the last meeting. Keep going down. Keep going. Okay, so we've identified a few devices. I thought I had expanded this, but I guess we were targeting a Google device with a Samsung chipset, looking for a Qualcomm chipset device and a MediaTek chipset device. We have 3 call boxes, the Anritsu, Keysight, and RNS. I keep going. I keep going. Yep, keep going. Yep, let's just keep going. All this is pretty standard. Yeah, so then the proposed test, or this table here is just identifying what tests can be run on which device. And this needs to be completed after we get devices. Keep going. Yep, and keep going. This is just the reporting tables. And the proposal was to repeat each test 5 times to show repeatability. Keep going. And TX RX tests. And then these are the proposed criteria for what would be acceptable. And any feedback on what some alternatives to this could be would be of interest. Yeah. And I think that's the end of the contribution. Yes.
So, all right, Kevin, Thanks for that. So the question is, can we go ahead and endorse this contribution on this test plan and continuously update the content with some of the blanks, like devices, and I believe you already volunteered your lab. If we can maybe formalize that you/Google is going to perform this campaign, I think that would certainly help.
Okay. So I can certainly make some updates to this document with some of this updated information. Okay. Let's see. And Will, can you do me a favor? Can you tell me what date was on this document?
Sure. I think it was June. On the cover page, June 2025.
Okay. All right. Well, I will certainly submit an updated contribution because I have a apparently I made edits to it which I didn't submit. So I will certainly do that and review it based on the additional feedback from today and make further updates.
All right. Thanks, Kevin. So with that, I guess again we can endorse. Sorry, go ahead. Any other questions? I guess not. Let me just check. Very good. So Kevin, let's go ahead and endorse this test in general with the understanding that you're going to make additional changes / additions. As far as I remember, there were some discussions 2 meetings ago on modules that could potentially be of interest as well. I don't know if you took any note of any of the modules that are mentioned.
Yes, that's what the updated contribution has that I didn't get around to submitting. My apologies. I think there's a Telit module that has a Qualcomm chipset. There's a Quectel module that has a MediaTek chipset, and there's a Murata chipset, a Murata module which has an Altair chipset. And I think there's also a Nordic chipset was identified. So I have model numbers in here, but I don't have these devices yet. So that's something that we still need to work on. But I will submit the updated contribution. And yeah, I guess, did you guys want to, did we want to create any actions for trying to acquire these devices?
Well, the question is, do we want to source any of these or all of these modules that you just mentioned, or do we just take a stab at let's just say 5 devices, 3 smartphones with the 3 major chipsets, and then 2 additional modules to kind of keep the amount of testing at bay? I'm not sure it. Yeah, I'm a little worried that you might be doing a lot of rounds of testing if we have all of a sudden 3 devices or maybe even more devices and 6-7 modules. I believe you just listed. So maybe we need to do some kind of down selection.
Okay, well, I guess the updated contribution will list some of the candidates. At least what I think I was proposing was 5 devices total to keep the test time down, 1 from each of the targeted chipsets. But
okay.
Yep,
Kevin,
we'll continue working on it.
Sorry, you said you identified a few modules, but do you have kind of the technical contacts to get access to configuration and the dev boards or not? Or you just identified those modules out of the market?
I think I've identified them. I think I might have one of the modules of those modules, but I think I have a contact to potentially get more of them, but I have not acquired them yet, and I haven't made any progress on this since a couple months ago.
That's fine, because I mean, I've done similar exercise in the past identifying devices, but then getting those engineering builds or instructions or commands is not usually an easy thing to do. So I would agree with Thorsten that we focus on 3, 4, 5 that we are sure we can get the contacts and the support to operate them, and we don't really go beyond that and spend time trying to purchase or get modules that we don't really know how to put them into action. So, well, you know better. You've been dealing with it for a while, so yeah, probably you can make the down selection based on your experience already.
Right. Yep.
And talking about support, Jose, you bring up a good point. So the question is whether you need any support personnel, either from the call box side or from your system integrator side, be present. I think that's something we need to formalize as well, and I think the corresponding contacts would have to engage with any type of local on-time support. So if you can think about whether you need call box support or whatever system integrator support on site or on standby, I think that would be very important to maybe capture in that report, in that document as well.
Sure. Just initial comment is I would expect that we would work with the callbox vendors ahead of time before we actually did the round robin.
Okay.
I don't think we would need on-site support unless for some reason, yeah, I don't think so, but I will give it some more thought.
Okay, sounds good. And I assume you don't also need loaners. Is that correct? You have everything in terms of call box selection on site, correct?
I need to double confirm, but yes, I think we have all the equipment available. We might
Okay.
need a loaner from one of the 3 vendors, possibly.
Okay. Andy, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, I'm not opposed to doing 4 or 5, but I mean, I think the minimum should be 3, but if we can do 4 or 5, that's fine. But if that starts to become a problem, I think as long as we do 3 and we target the 3 that are in commercially available smartphones currently, I would suggest that that's like our minimum. And then kind of like 4 and 5 is a little bit of a stretch goal. If we can do it, great. If not, I'm as an operator, I'm not necessarily losing sleep if we can only do 3. Just to your point, Thorsten, about trying to bound some of this from a testing and
Yep.
in terms of how much long it takes and everything.
Okay, I think there's overall consensus in the need to limit number of devices. I know there's an IoT portion potentially associated with this, but clearly from an operator perspective, feedback is loud and clear that we need to prioritize phones. Okay, very good. So again, let's make sure that we label this intent of a test plan, inter-equipment, inter-chipset test plan as endorsed, and we'll continue to revising this contribution with additional information and feedback. Very good. So we covered agenda item 5.1. With that, we'll go to the next agenda item. That's contribution 250703 version 1. Clarification of device mechanical modes with related regards to FR2. That came from the OTA 5G millimeter wave group. if you can open that, I just want to make a brief comment that the content in this contribution and the next contribution was already implemented at risk for the version 8 draft that was sent out, I believe, last week. We felt that the changes that are proposed here were necessary and should be agreeable, but obviously we are not going to publish version 8 without the confirmation here in this OTA working group. So with that, the changes that we made are very minor, and the changes that we made in CTIA 0101 section 2.2 are fully aligned with what we have done in other portions of the test plan. More recently, we made a very similar change for MIMO OTA testing. And again, the sentence is very much aligned with what we have agreed a meeting or 2 meetings ago in a different section for MIMO OTA. And the sentence reads, if a device has multiple mechanical modes represented and use, the device shall be tested in each mechanical mode. And of course, some of the following sentences are talking about the applicability of requirements if and when there are some to device mechanical modes that are or not representative. So this sentence was added in order to give a clearer guidance in terms of the fact that all mechanical modes must be tested. Again, fully aligned with what we have in other portions of the test plan. So the question is, can this contribution be approved? It was approved already in the last millimeter wave sub-working group meeting. And the question is this agreeable here in the OTA working group? Being no concerns, so let's consider this clarification and this contribution approved for version 8. And with that, the implementation at risk can proceed with the release of version 8 with this change included. Next up is agenda item 5.3, that's OTA 2025-0705, version 1, adding the version control to the MRR template. Again, this was also implemented at risk for version 8, and we are hoping for confirmation here. If you can open that contribution, and Wisut, are you presenting this or?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. There we go.
Thank you. So this is sorry, can you go to the topic? I want to make sure which one I missed a bit first. 5 seconds. This is on MRR or is on okay, perfect. Yeah, okay, now I got it. So in the last MRR task force we had last week, the task force has been discussed about the implemented the version control for the OTA MRR templated. So the team has endorsed the contribution. Pretty much on the MR template now we have the version control, which you can see on the top left corner on the Excel file, where it will show the version that you can use. So that is to track which MR template to be used for which CTA test plan version. Maybe yeah, you can point out to the top left corner. Maybe a bit more. Oh, yeah, perfect. You can see the row A1 here. In this case, it shows MRR version 8.0.2. This is where we have the version control. It's a new it's a new template that we added to track the MRR version with the CTA test plan. I I believe those are the only change we did on this version control. There are also some changes on the Microsoft. If you can open the Microsoft Word, we add the Note 2 and Note 3. Yeah. So if you see here the changes is on the Note 2 is to describe the version control according to CTA version 0103. And the third one is to describe the MRR file name, where you start with the request number, model name, OTA MRR, and the year, month, and date. So, and we give the example here as a 6-digit on the request number and the model number, so the lab can follow the template here according to the version control. Pretty much these are all the changes we have on the new MRR version. Any question? Yeah, then we can go back to the proposal. Can we go back to the proposal? Yeah, perfect. Yeah. So the proposal is to approve this CR for OTA test plan version 8.0.x and onwards.
All right, very good. As I said, I was informed that this was already implemented for the draft of version 8 that went out. Are there any concerns with the changes that Wisut just went over? All right, hearing none, so let's consider this contribution from OTA MRR approved as well. No further changes needed for the version 8 draft in that case. And with that, we'll move on to the other subworking group contributions in agenda item 5.4 first. It's OTA 2025-0708 version 1. That is on utilizing a DUT charging cable in hand Phantom. And this is coming from the near-field Phantom subworking group. So I believe Clive.
Yeah, I can take this one.
Perfect.
So obviously this is the CR, it's up for approval. Just to give you some background, we had within our near-field Phantom group a number of contributions supporting the justification for the use of the charging cable. And this is to do with the single-hand Phantom for millimeter wave testing. Within the contributions, we reviewed the data supporting this as well. And on August the 7th, which is our last meeting, we endorsed the use of the charging cable, the Phantom, and the subsequent change request, very simple there, is up for approval. It was approved at the near-field Phantom call on August the 7th as well. So looking for approval, basically.
Thanks, Clive. So you see on the screen the very simple change right here. I believe Kevin made a change or made a request if you can make a slight modification in editorial, but again, the intent is very clear. So are there any questions, concerns regarding this text that was already approved in NFP?
Maybe just one. I'm sorry I missed to the comment during near-field Phantom, but I guess we would need a note or something at the editorial to clarify that at this point, hand phantoms are not defined or not a requirement for testing in millimeter wave. Since this is in 0101, I guess it will limit a little bit questions or confusion until we have those hand phantoms defined.
Correct. I think this is targeted for version 10 anyway. So this is not for version 8 or 9 at this point. And of
Well,
course, the goal would be to have the hands in time for version 10 as well.
Fair enough. If we manage to have everything on time, for sure,
Yeah.
following the target, yes, makes sense. Okay, that's fine. Thanks.
Thanks, Jose, for the clarification. Any other comment? Right.
In keeping
sorry.
with Jose's comment, should it just then be conditionally approved based on the inclusion of the hand phantoms for millimeter wave in version 10? And we've done that before too, where we've just noted that it's conditional on the.
Yeah, I guess we could ask Will Colbert to put this into the spreadsheet accordingly, and have a little check whether if the hand phantoms have indeed been implemented in version 10, then this CR will get implemented. Otherwise, we might have to postpone this or defer this to version 11. That's fine. We can conditionally approve this based on the condition that hand phantoms will be approved for millimeter wave testing for version 10 as well.
That's a good point, Torsten. This is only the single hand phantom, isn't it? I don't know if we need to make that clear.
That's correct. Yeah, the dual hand phantom was deprioritized, aka thrown out for millimeter wave phantom. So yeah, that's correct. All right, Jose, if we can capture that this was conditionally approved for version 10, based on the condition that hand phantoms or the single hand phantom is making it for version 10, and then will Colbert, if and when we start the version 10 spreadsheet, we need to kind of put an asterisk there that this was conditionally approved based on, again, the single hand phantom making it to version 10 as well.
Got it.
Sure thing.
Very good. Thank you. That was a good discussion and a good clarification. Agenda item 5.5, contribution OTA 2025-0709 version 1. That's the measurement uncertainty template version for version 8. That's beta 3, and Kim/Edwin. I believe this was approved yesterday. Thanks, Kim, for submitting it yesterday, and for having that extra MUSG call prior to the OTA working group meeting. So, Kim?
Sure. This is the measurement uncertainty template that Edwin modified to update everything for the CISO test plan version 8.0.x for inclusion in the SVD. So I might have to ask Edwin to help me, but the chest and ankle phantom were added to this test plan. So those have been included. He's also modified and updated the headers to include the new frequency band. I forget if it's L1. Could you go up, Will? To up, all the way up, and then to the right. A little more. I'm not sure if there. So yeah, GNSS L1, E1, and GNSS. I'm not sure if, I think E5A is new, L5. So he's updated everything to for this to be used for version 8.0. Is there anything else I missed, Edwin?
No, no, that's basically all. Yes, was adding E5A, and then adding all the results for the ankle and chest phantom.
And the summation tables at the bottom.
Yeah. Yes, now it calculates the uncertainty for those configurations for the different tests, alternate tests and RSS tests also, and a lot of editorial fixes like making the band's name and the rows are going to be the same as the column. The band names in the columns, because before they were different, were some that were called NR, the other one didn't have NR in there, some didn't have NR at all, or some were like WLAN A, the other one was Wi-Fi or something. The names were different between the rows and the columns. Now they are the same. And a few of the references were off also. They were pointing to the wrong sections in the test plan. So that's been fixed. And that's basically all the changes were done.
Thanks, Edwin.
Sorry, I took a while to unmute myself. Again, this is fresh off the press since yesterday. Are there any additional questions, comments? I know Edwin mentioned yesterday that he would like labs to sort of play with this and see whether something is broken, but at this point, based on Edwin, he did put it to the ringer here and there, updated a couple of references. So with that, are there any concerns looking at this contribution and the MU template? This is obviously pretty important for Ron to finish his SVD LID work. So can this contribution be approved?
Yeah, Thorsten, we usually didn't ask for approval here, more providing information so that it had additional exposure to labs to test it.
Okay, very good. So I should have captured this for information only. Okay.
I mean, since the SVDs and LEDs don't go through formal approval anyway. Yeah.
All right. So again, I simply repeat what Edwin and Kim asked yesterday for labs to kind of put it to a ringer. But Ron, you're right. I know we mentioned this offline as well. This contribution is mainly for information here. And this spreadsheet will be used for the SVD that Ron and Will are going to talk about here in the next hour. All right. So with that, we conclude agenda item 5 and go straight into the working group and task force updates. And starting up first is MOSG with Istvan or Sanxiang.
Thank you. We have 2 MOSG meetings since the last OTA working group meeting. So the first one was July 9. In that meeting, we received the operator's feedback on the allowance to publish the 0142 without measurement campaign or round robin. And also we review an LS from RAN 1, indicating that the channel models on the TR captured on TR 38901 were updated. The second meeting was yesterday, where the ATS presented updates on the FR1 dynamic channel model validation results. They make a good progress. However, still have some measurements on the spatial and temporal correlation that need to be addressed. ATS will continue to work as soon as we receive a new loaner, equipment loaner. Our next meeting will be on September 18th. Thank you.
All right, thanks for that, Istvan. With that, we'll move on to group, that's wireless IoT, and Clive or Adil.
Yeah, I'm going to be very quick on this. We haven't had a meeting since the last OTA meeting. Our next meeting will be on Thursday, which is the 14th.
Very good. Thanks for that update. With that, agenda item 6.3, reverb chamber, Derek or Edwin?
Hello, thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Great. Our last meeting for the Reverberation Chamber Subworking Group was on Tuesday, July 15th, and we had a good discussion that primarily focused on how we should plan our next activities and keep that and make those activities available for the group, and then how we should coordinate those activities into updates to our current RC test plan, and make sure that those maintenance items move through the drafts and into a tracked working group that is maintained as an informative test specification. So we had a good discussion there, and we are looking forward to kind of building into an editorial process and things for this informative specification and rolling that out. Our next meeting will be on September 9th, and look forward to anyone who could attend. Thanks.
All right, thanks for that, Derek. With that, we'll move on to the next subworking group, that MUSG in agenda item 6.4. Kim, should all be still fresh in your mind?
Yeah, so we had a subworking group meeting yesterday where Edwin presented his version 2 of the measurement uncertainty template for CISO version 8.0 with all the changes that were requested in the first revision from. Also, there was a contribution to propose tags for the Ripple test at 6.5 gigahertz, but that will have to be revised. And then once it's finalized, will be brought to the main OTA working group. And I think that's about it. Our next meeting is September 18th.
Very good. Thanks for that, Kim. Up next in agenda item 6.5 is CWG, and I believe we only have Elvis from that group here. Elvis, you're still muted.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, you can.
Okay, sounds good. So we don't have a meeting between last OTA call and today, but we did not have the update during last OTA call. So here we are. We had a meeting on June 18th for the last DFG call. And during that call, we tried to address the DFG test plan version 8.0 releasing time. But so far, we still have some issue. First is actually what kind of lead time we need for Wi-Fi Alliance to approve it. So I think the consent during that call is we try to see if we can pull in a little bit or shorten the time from 30 days to sometime shorter. So that's the first item. The second item, we want to see that if CWG can approve the process and procedure policies in next call. Also, we want to address that the scope for version 10.0 in next few calls if we can. Last but not least, we actually find some misalignment between the version 8.0 draft plan versus 7.0 or even the CTIA version 8.0. So their bans was approved or in version 7.0, but it somehow missed in approved contribution for 8.0. So we want to see if that can be an editorial change release or editorial change. We can address this in an editorial call or editorial version, or that's something we need to address later in next release. Also, we see some missing bands from version CTI OTA version 8.0. So I'm not sure if that could be considered as an editorial or we need to address it in a future release. So, but I think the consent previously was we will try to push CWG 8.0 out as soon as possible and try to align with OTA main test plan at version 10 or so. So I don't know if we still have the time. If we don't, then we will just try to have this approved as is and try to address those missing bits in future release. And so far, any question, anyone can help shed a light if we can treat some of the missing bits as editorial. But anyway, the next call will be tomorrow, August 13th. Any question, feedback?
Hello.
Yes, Elvis, thanks for the update. Again, I think you're highlighting yourself that there has been some disconnect in terms of aligning test plan versions. I know we have talked about this for quite some time, that we need to make sure that there is better alignment in test plan releases, test plan versions, and some of the misalignments that you pointed out online as well as offline in the email that you shared with Jose in terms of the update from last meeting, clearly points out that we are still not in sync. So we need to really strive towards having a much better alignment going forward. I hope that this is obviously something we can achieve with version 10 going forward. I at this point don't want to or cannot comment on some of your technical questions, what can be done in editorial or not. I believe there's going to be some more discussions in the CWG call tomorrow. But I do want to point out that Ron and Will Lightfoot are in the process of releasing version 8 for the legacy test plans or for the OTA working group test plans, and we certainly need or wanted to make sure that CWG is released pretty much on time or in sync. That obviously cannot happen. So we certainly need, as I said earlier, we need to have some alignment there. Anybody else that has any quick feedback? All right. Again, let's make sure that we are aligned going forward. And with that, let's move on to agenda item 6.6. That is the 5G millimeter wave OTA sub-working group. I can provide a very brief update here. We did have our last meeting on July 16th. The only discussion that was held was related to the clarification of the device mechanical modes and the contribution that we covered in agenda item 5.2. That contribution was approved and implemented at risk for version 8. And the next meeting will be held on September 11th. And with that, we move on to the Near Field Phantom sub-working group. in agenda item 6.7 with Clive.
Thanks, Torsten. So our last meeting was held on August the 7th. With the millimeter wave testing, we're wrapping up the single hand grip round robin, just gathering some further data, etc. So it's at the end there. It's just, although we've endorsed it and is going through, we're just tidying things up. It's, as you heard earlier on with the dual landscape grip, we're not going to utilize that for millimeter wave. However, there is a desire from the operators to utilize this Phantom for FR1 on the bands band 77 and 41. And because of this, we need to step back and find out where we got to when we were doing a millimeter wave round robin. So we've put together an ad hoc meeting to take a look at this. That's going to be held on August the 18th. So, and just a recap, there's some finger issues that we had, and we've got to look at the spacer. And now we're not using a twin axis system. Can we utilize just a type of system that doesn't sort of turn, etc., etc. So that meeting's August the 18th. On the AR and VR side, there's concerns that we couldn't get hold of cellular devices. So a little bit of a worry there. So the operators did approve us moving forward to use 802.11. So that's really good for our round robin. So we can move forward with that effect. So can't give you an update on where the Phantom is at the moment in production, and we didn't get an update at this meeting. And the other one I think we talked about earlier on was the justification for using a charging cable for millimeter wave, and that's a single-handed grip. So that CR was approved, and we endorsed using that charging cable. And I'm just giving down my notes. I think our next meeting is September the 15th.
Thanks for that, Clive. That was good. So with that, we move on to agenda item 6.8, the CA task force, and Andy.